Oh, hi everyone. It's Susie here from Esoteric Trading Solutions. I hope you're all well. I'm going to start calling myself Crypto Grandma. I think it's really apt because I'm a Generation Xer. I was one of the first Generation Xers born in the early 60s, and there's not many of us. And most of my friends, my female friends, they didn't actually get married. We had careers, so and they say that we're like a generation that was, we didn't know what we wanted to do, and we were, all over the place, but actually we weren't, because our parents always got us to work. We had to work. We weren't allowed to bring anyone home, boyfriend or girlfriend. They were fairly strict with us. But if we did say we're going to stay away for the weekend with our girlfriends, we'd just say we're at a slumber party, remember that? And they'd never check. So it was the days of not checking. We could do what we like. We, even, me and my friends and male friends, we'd decide to go and get a hamburger. We'd drive to Adelaide for 8 hours just to get a hamburger. We'd all be, six was in the car, Ed was in the car, drinking and driving. It was the day of, Aerosmith, Steve Perry, Don't Stop Believing, which I just love. I've got to play this to you. I probably got some copy infringement right, with YouTube or something, but it's one of my favorite songs. We used to dance this all the time when we were about 15, 14. It was the time of The Exorcist. I was 14 when I went to see The Exorcist. It had an X rating on it at 18. It scared the hell out of me. With Linda Blair, it scared all of us. It scared a whole generation of people. Seriously, it was a time when we had paper licenses, and we used to, use our older sister's paper licenses. It was just a great time. It was a time of Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, seriously. And all these bands are still around today. So, and they're all grandpas and they're all grandmas. So I'm going to call myself grandma, grandma, crypto grandma. But look, I've got to play Steve Perry, because I tell you, I just love this song, man. And you'll all love this song. It'll bring you back. This is this guy live in Houston. And you know what? In those days, they could actually sing live on stage. Seriously. Here we go, man. And all the guys had long hair, they had bangles, they had everything, they had tight jeans on. It was just an incredible time, seriously. And I'm a Generation Xer, and I love. Oh, hello, everyone. I hope you're all well. I hope you're looking after yourself, being kind to yourself, being kind to your family and friends, being kind to your parents, your beautiful putty cats, your beautiful animals, and just being kind to any animal and being kind to any person in the world, just to make this place a better place and a better world. Today, I'm just going to talk a little bit about, obviously, what the updates on XRP and just any other market information that we need to be aware of. I did mention that Tron was a buy, and it looks pretty good to me, Tron, I have to say. This is for my own portfolio. You have to do your own due diligence. I did come out with something on Tron. When I mentioned it was around 0.012, it's around 0.018. I do think Tron will outperform and do better than a lot of people think. And also one of my other ones that I really love is VeChain. That's starting to perform as well, which is a great story. They've had some really good press out of China as well, VeChain. And I do think Tron is a pretty good story. So I'm not giving you financial advice, but please do look at your own due diligence and just have a look. There's another coin that a lot of people are on at the moment, is Ziquilla, ZIL. Not that I'm advocating that either, but that seems to be up a lot as well. So check those out. I'll just, they're just some of the things that I'm noticing. And there's a couple others that have been really sold off that there could be opportunity there as well. So things like, for example, Neuromation and Ambrosis, but just keep an eye on those, okay? So what I'm looking at today is obviously XRP. I just want to see what's happening with that, and Bitcoin. As I said to you before, I'm still very bullish Bitcoin. I think it's I think the bull market has started. Bitcoin's still at that 9737. Ethereum 244. Ethereum's done pretty well, and if it goes proof of stake, it probably will do a little bit better. Tether, I keep saying Tether shouldn't be at $1, and it's still at $1, but it shouldn't be there. It's not, stable coins are not stable, okay? They're often pegged against US dollars, or they're pegged against a commodity or gold or something else. So they go up and down according to the US dollar or the commodity or gold and that sort of thing. And as you know, Tether Inc. do not, every time they issue Tether, right, new Tether, they don't actually buy all 100% US dollars against Tether. And that's why I'm saying Tether should not equal $1, okay? So people need to be aware of that. this should not be equal to $1, right? If they don't buy US dollars, real US dollars are behind their issuance of USDT, then this shouldn't be $1, okay? So XRP, it looks like it's really hitting a wall around this 21 cents, 20 cents odd, not doing a lot at all, which is very disappointing for the holders. I know it's a very frustrating story. Others, you know, as I said, Tron's doing pretty well at 0.018, which is good. It's up 4%. We've got this crypto.com, which I don't like, up 3.7%. And this one here, Maker, up 14.89. Interesting, Maker had a hack, and they nearly lost all their coins. A hacker got into their technology and basically nearly lost all their coins. They did. So, you know, technology is really important. Honestly, if a hacker can get into the technology of the cryptocurrency, the technology of the coin, then they can literally take all the coins. Okay, and that's pretty much, you know, the story. So, just quickly having a look here. This is not a story on the whole cryptocurrency market. I just want to have a quick look. I don't know what this wax is in this loop ring, but yeah, I just want to have a quick look just to see what's going on there, just to keep up to date with things. So if we go into Slack, just on our channel on XRP, and to see what's happening here, there was new records that Ripple basically had new records for XRP Aussie, which is the highest value, and the Aussie line is getting higher and higher. In other words, there's a lot more XRP being done in terms of the Aussie dollar distribution line. It's up over 15 million now and becoming more and more, which is a really good story in itself, which basically adds to the liquidity of XRP, okay? So these guys have got the facts and the figures on the board, and they always have, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to go through to the fundamentals of the coin, which is very, very frustrating. And I feel you guys, I really do, because I've got a lot of money in XRP, and, you know, I can't, you know, obviously I haven't bought at the right levels either, but, you know, what is the right level, you know, when we think that, you know, the story's there. So we just have to be patient, I guess. And I know it's frustrating because I've got the same story. But if we have a quick look here, obviously we know about Ripple and the Brazil Central Bank having a meeting to discuss institutional matters, which is obviously, you know, they'd be looking at liquidity, on-demand liquidity, and how they can improve their settlement process and liquidity matters with Ripple and XRP. As I mentioned before, Ripple partners with FSS, integrates Samsung's pay card. Now that's a good story in itself. There was also, Ripple has invested in a lot of different projects, right, since 2018. So 500 million different projects, right? Now, that's the thing. Ripple can invest as an investor in other projects, which is a great story, just like MoneyGram, okay? And they can actually make money out of these programs. As I said before, MoneyGram, you know, they bought the coin the share at $4.10. If the takeover offers higher than that, they're actually going to make money, right? Which is really, really good. So we know that according to this, they actually invested in 27 different projects, including Compound, Dharma, Securitization, Bitso, and Forte, right? 100 million and Forte last year, which is a blockchain gaming platform. So don't forget about that. Ripple and XRP are in other industries, and particularly gaming. Gaming's a huge industry. Plus, they have their own platform. Okay, so anyone can do an ICO on their platform. So they're pretty much like, you know, an Ethereum or Waves or a Tron or whatever, okay? So they're in gaming, right? They also, what else they got here? They did 2 other investments so far, Crypto ATM, provider CoinMe, and blockchain platform decentralized apps Near Protocol. These guys are very, very clever, and they know what they're doing. So if I want to find out all the other investments, I'm going to have to subscribe to this story. But, you know, don't forget, they have invested in a lot of things, okay? And these other things are going to give them an into other industries like gaming, for example, okay? So, you know, that's a great story in itself. So, yeah, I'm going to have to, wow, that's expensive, 2,500 annually, whoa. So, you know, that's a really, really good story in itself. So if we go back to Slack, and, you know, some people are saying that Ripple looks quite weak technically. Look, I think there's a line in the sand around 16 cents. That's my view on this. Also, if we have a look at XRP takes top spot in emerging market, current emerging trends. Let's have a quick squeeze of that and see. That was published on the 5th of June. Today is the 8th in Australia. And some of this, I'm sorry if some of this is old information, but I just want to catch up from the weekend because I didn't actually have a look at anything on the weekend. Effectively, they're doing a lot. This is Sandman's Insights, XRP holders. What are they saying? There's an emerging trend as the asset has massive social and volume spikes over the past week. So there's a lot of people that follow XRP. I want to show there's about 2 million holders of XRP now, according to Bits of Bins figures. And that's about 50 million XRP. So if you work that out, it's about the average holding. Someone asked me this the other day, it was 25,000. I thought it was about 75,000, and the guy on the YouTube was correct. It wasn't 75,000, it was actually 25. So, you know, that we've got massive social volume, massive XRP being traded everywhere. Now, the Australian story is a great story, and that's going to increase actually in Australia because we really know a lot about Ripple and XRP. The sentiment indicators are saying that, you know, it's doing very well. The coin correlation is changing, and keep an eye on that as well. The correlation, as they say, between XRP and Bitcoin is 0.82. Now, it used to be closer than that. It used to be about 0.97. Okay, so we will find that XRP will start moving in a different way to Bitcoin. So definitely keep an eye on that. But if you look at Santaman's figures, you know, there's just so much going on. Ripple, and if you look at Google last year, you know, people were trying to find out how much, you know, how to buy XRP more so than Bitcoin. So, you know, that's pretty good in itself, and you know that's going to be where the masses will come in. Okay, now Ripple's partner MoneyGram joined the world's largest Islamic bank. Okay, don't forget, Ripple are doing an amazing things in the Middle East, and the fact that MoneyGram has joined the world's largest Islamic bank, according to this, this was out on 5th of the 6th, Friday, and the bank's, it's in the presence in MENA region by forging a partnership with the largest Islamic bank. Just wondering who that is. Chasing big money in MENA and other regions. So there's a deal with Al Rajhi Bank. I suppose this fellow is him up there or something. Al Rajhi Bank, the #1 Islamic banking institution, which has 88 billion worth of assets under management. 88 billion is huge. Okay, now Ripple are in the Middle East, and they're doing very well in the Middle East. And the fact that MoneyGram's in there is amazing. So 88 billion worth of assets. Now that's a big client. Okay, so it's a strategic relationship. They have a lot of Saudi Arabian remittance market. They probably will use obviously XRP. It's a big story that in itself. Okay, 88 billion is a lot of assets. Okay. So also back in January, MoneyGram also scored a deal with Suez Canal Bank, one of the leading commercial banks in Egypt, to provide its customers with an opportunity to send funds directly to local banks. Now, don't forget, MoneyGram has millions and millions of clients, and those clients become Ripple's clients. And MoneyGram is just not one client for Ripple. MoneyGram's clients are also Ripple's clients and XRP's clients, okay? So if MoneyGram's putting on clients like this with 88 billion and whatnot, then they also become Ripple's client, okay? So, you know, the fact that they also had this Suez Canal Bank, one of the leading commercial banks in Egypt, they've also put them on. Now, these clients have more and more clients. So Ripple has more clients than 300 because those clients Ripple have, they have a network of clients, okay? And that's really important to remember. So Ripple have more than 300 clients. They have millions and millions of clients, okay, which is really, really important. Now, you know, there's basically the blockchain, there's quite a 10% stake last year, we know about that, but they're signing up a lot of Saudi Arabian and Middle Eastern banks, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, also, you know, we know that MoneyGram and Ripple are focusing on Asian Pacific region, right? You know, we know they're big in Japan, they're huge in South Korea, they're in Australia, the Philippines. I mean, it's just a really, really great story. And honestly, it's just going to be a matter of time as far as I'm concerned. Seriously, you know, they're just getting on more and more clients. And as I said, it's not one client, it's millions of clients, millions and millions of clients, okay? So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, that's what we have to keep in mind here, that they're getting more and more clients on. Yes, there's analysts saying, you know, that looks like it's going to be downside and XRP and everything else. But look, we just have to hold our nerve here. Seriously, I'm certainly going to, you know, 2 to 5 years. Like I said before, things you know, things take time, and that's all there is to it, you know, and we just have to wait. Okay, so if you have a look at Bits of Vin's, he does some amazing things, this guy, and he's a really lovely guy. Bits of Vin, I've met him in Holland, really nice man. If you have a look at some of the stuff, and he's a very busy guy because he's got 2 young children, but if you have a look at what Bits of Vin put together, and people would have seen this, XRP stats, I looked at this last week because I had a client on YouTube that asked me about the average holding for XRP. And I was surprised. I thought it was 75 mil. I don't know where I got that from. But if you have a look at it, there's over 2 million holders, and that's according to Bits of Bin or accounts, 2 million accounts. And if we don't include the escrow, it's basically, what have we got? 50, it's 50 billion. And we divide that by that, I think we come up with about 25,000 on the average. And that's just the average, okay? So you're just looking at, you know, the average. You're not looking at the median, the frequency, but you're just looking at, you know, the highs and the lows, okay, of XRP. So if you look at this, there's a lot that are holding 20, there's a lot that are holding 1,000 and that sort of thing. But this is a great, you know, I love this, and this is really good. This is something that Bits of Bin put together, and it's a really, really handy thing. Also, he's did something with Zoom, and I've got to find out about this. I don't know a lot about Zoom, but you can deposit XRP from Uphold, to withdraw XRP from Uphold to your Zoom account. You can do it on your mobile. So I've got to check that. Just be aware of that, because that's a really good story as well. And I need to work out how to use that, okay? There's more stories here. Just on the 6th, a private Swiss bank includes XRP in its stream of digital assets. And if we go through this, there's a lot of very, very wealthy Swiss banks, okay? Extremely wealthy. They have high net worth clients that are worth a fortune, okay? And that's what they call private Swiss bank. Have private high net worth clients, and these clients could have 5 million plus, right? So the Swiss bankers include XRP token that's stream of cryptocurrency, supported for trading and custody purposes, okay? And they look at, you know, they're looking at initial coin offerings and security token offerings, and they could use Ripple and XRP as their platform, just like anyone uses Ethereum, okay? So they're starting to go into cryptocurrency trading for their clients and custody services. So this is a family-owned private Swiss bank, and you know they'd have heaps of money. So not only that, it's not just one client, as I said. Ripple always and XRP get more than one client. These guys have other clients, right? So it's clients and more clients, clients and a network, not just the one client, but clients and a network. So they have more and more. So the bank believes cryptocurrency can change the financial dimension across the world. Hence, it made the decision in taking the lead in the industry without hesitating to play an active role. Now that's super, okay? That's fantastic, right? And you know they're looking at XRP, Bitcoin, BCH, Ethereum, and Litecoin, and XRP, right? So they put those up there with those coins, which is a great story. Switzerland, several exchanges in Switzerland have adopted XRP, and a number of banks are already venturing into the crypto industry, okay? And they've adopted XRP. And Arab Bank and Sygnum Bank, again, other banks out in the Middle East have supported XRP. So if you do your homework, you see that XRP and Ripple have one client like the Arab Bank, but the Arab Bank has more and more clients, right? Even the Arab Bank is here in Australia, okay? They have more and more clients, right? And that's a great story, you know, and it's going to increase those channels even more and more. When you think about how many clients they have millions of clients, seriously, millions of clients. You know, and then we go to this story here about Ripple's Money Tap offers cheapest settlement rate for Japanese using a QR code, and it's XRP, okay, and Ripple, right? When you look at Ripple and when they convert money, it's just so cheap. It's not even costing, you know, 1/10 of a cent. Now, if you have a look at this, right, you know, we know that, you know, they're doing lots and lots of liquidity. There's a whole heap of XRP being moved from Bitstamp to Ripple. But if you look at this is what you know, you're moving 20 million XRP, and this is what it's costing you, right? 0.0004 of XRP. So if you divide that by 20 cents, you know, 0.004 of an XRP by 20 cents of XRP is 20 cents. It's not even costing you 1/10 of a cent, right? This is so cheap. This settlement is so cheap. If you did this through, you know, Swift through foreign currency, it would cost you a fortune, at least 1 to 2%, right? 1 to 2%, right? It's a lot of money. You know, if I go into my calculator, say with XRP, 20 million, right, and multiply it by 0.2, you know, for the dollar value, you know, if you're going to do that through Swift, it's going to cost you 1 or 2%, okay? And that's a lot of money, right? So we multiply that by 0.2, that's $4 million US, right? If we divide it, if we multiply that by 1%, that's going to cost you 40,000 US dollars for settlement through Swift, right? And this thing's not even costing you 1/10% on comparison, and it's settling instantly within 3 seconds. And that's my point. You know, this is amazing, right? This is amazing. Now we come to this guy, Peter Brand, and with no disrespect, Mr. Peter Brand, I think, you know, you're on very unsteady ground here because, you know, seriously, yes, we know that XRP hasn't been performing as well as every other cryptocurrency out there that has no background or no nothing. But the thing is, if this was a scam, they wouldn't have the clients they've got. Seriously, you know, we know that maybe it's been manipulated here and there, but seriously, I cannot see for the life of me how you can believe something's going to be worth zero when using XRP actually gives people back 75 cents in the dollar if they use XRP's settlement system over and above Swift. So look, I'm sorry, I don't agree with you. I'm being kind, but I just don't agree with you because you don't answer that actually. If someone's using XRP's settlement system with Ripple and they actually get back 75 cents in the dollar from using XRP and Ripple over and above Swift, then how can you say the coin and the settlement system of Ripple is worth zero? Okay, I need that answer. I really do, because I'm being kind today. But honestly, that doesn't make sense. It's not logical. If I, as a big bank, as I said before, use XRP and Ripple for all my foreign currency transactions, like if I was a CBA, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, which is the largest, you know, FX trading, you know, they do lots of foreign currency for Australia and everywhere else, massive. If I use XRP and Ripple, which they do, okay, and they've been testing it for 4 or 5 years, intra business, and I'm saving for every deal I do 75 cents in the dollar, it's going directly back to my profit and loss. How can the system of Ripple and XRP be zero? Now, it's not, it's just common sense, right? If you're getting a benefit from something that's actually giving you more money back rather than using Swift, how can the system and the coin be worth zero? It's just not logical, okay? And what you're saying to me, Mr. Peter Brand, it's just not logical, okay? It's not logical, right? And I don't agree with you because it's not logical to me. All right, so there you go. If we go to the next one, what else we got here? Oh, that's another story about Mr. Peter Brandt. And it, you know, maybe he just wants to, maybe he knows that there's so many people out there that love XRP that he just wants to get his name on the board. Maybe that's what it's about, Mr. Peter Brandt. Maybe that's possibly it. But I honestly, I don't agree with you, full stop. So what else we got here? Looking at XRP, technically, you know, some people saying technically it could go lower. But look, again, I'm here for the bigger picture. I'm here for the long game, okay? The long game, not the short game. The long game is 2 to 5 years for me, okay? Even if I am a crypto grandmother, and I love it, crypto grandmother with the hat on, the long game, you know, is at least 2 to 5 years, okay? I mean, seriously, things like this just are not, you know, are not conducive, honestly. You know, this is just about catching headlines. I have to say, so that I'll mention it, crypto grandmother will mention this, right? Because it gets my, you know, it gets me looking at it. Right? But honestly, it's not conducive to people that actually hold it, right? So if we go to some of the other things here, and we know about this one, we've been trying to find some other stuff on that, but we have to pay for it. What else we got here? So just going through, as far as I'm concerned, you know, Ripple, again, look at this one. Ripple Money Taps offers cheapest settlement rate for Japanese QR codes, okay? So here we go. To reduce the hassle of payment and contract between customers and stores, the Japanese Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication has introduced a cashless payment system that uses a JP QR code, unifying a large number of QR codes, and it is compatible with dozens of independent systems, okay? The ministry said it would begin to accept applications from businesses for the system from June the 22nd. And there's a list of JPQR scheduled payment services as published by the ministry on the May the 5th, and confirms that the Ripple-based application money tap offers the lowest membership commission. Now, again, as I said, if something doesn't give you value back, the fact that using XRP and Ripple gives you value back out of low commission, it's worth something. It's not logical to say that it's not worth something. So if all these people in Japan are using Ripple and XRP, of course it has to have value, right? You know, because it's getting, people using it. Even the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication in Japan saying that, over and above all these other ones, right? So what is everyone stupid? You know, the International Monetary Fund, you know, the Fed, the payment system, you know, seriously. So, you know, Ripple's Money Tap offers the lowest membership commission with just 1.5% in terms of retail. And everyone else, if you look through this, I don't speak Japanese, but you can see what the rate is: 2.4, 3.25, 3.25, 286, 2.59, 3.25, right? So it's a great story for Ripple and XRP, right? You know, and don't forget SBIL Holdings, right, is behind XRP as well, right? So this is a great story. You know, it's going to be integrating Ripple-powered application, payment applications through MoneyTap and across the ATMs across Japan, right? Now, all the 80 main Japanese banks are going to be using XRP and Ripple because it's giving them value back. It's giving them back their costs and adding back to their profit line, which means that they're going to be more profitable if they use Ripple and XRP. It is just that easy to understand that, right? It's not a difficult story to understand, right? So, you know, honestly, fundamentally, I think it is a great story. And if people don't understand how to price things fundamentally, like they know the price of everything but not the value, then we just have to wait until people know the value of something. Okay, it's an old grandma saying, people know the price of everything, but they don't know the value of anything. Okay, and that's a fact, right? And that's a fact. So there's something here about David Schwartz saying people are a bit silly because XRP didn't get on Gemini. But look, you know, Gemini's got their own, their own vested interests, right? You know, it's the twins, right? And they've got their own vested interests on their own platform, their own exchange system. So, you know, they might be trying to charge people money to get on their exchange, right? You can only have your coin on that exchange if you give us, you know, $1 million or something. You know, there's always a vested interest on any exchange, just like Coinbase, okay? Coinbase didn't want to put XRP on there for ages, but yet they were happy to put on coins like Virgin, those sort of things that were literally, you know, being hacked 3 times. And I think then they took them off, right? So, you know, people have their vested interests and we have to be aware of that. So there you go. But anything else we got here today, there's not really a lot going on. Not really, unless I've missed something. But, you know, that's all I can see at the moment. But look, you know, we just have to stay steadfast. As I said, there's some opportunities out there for short-term gains if you want to have a look. But look, all for me, I'm still, you know, an absolute, you know, in my day we called people following bands groupies. So I'm an XRP groupie, okay? Ripple groupie. So please, you know, just patience, right? Like I said, people know the price of everything, but they know the value of nothing. Anyway, signing off, Crypto Grandma, guys. Nice to talk to you again. Got my old grandma beanie on, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you.